Yes, everybody, how we doing? So today we're going to be doing two interview analyses, one of the above, from Abdallah, who's sent over to me two sort of video interview practice questions that he's done to practice for an Amazon interview. So that's what we're going to go through today. Have a listen to his answers and then give my feedback on where he can improve, and that's going to help you guys who are watching this video with your answers as well. Just before we do jump into it, in case you don't know me, my name's Owen. I'm a degree apprentice and I help people get degree apprenticeships in the engineering, technology, and finance industries. Last year, I mentored people to help them get into companies like Amazon, JLR, KPMG, HSBC, Deutsche Bank, just to name a few there. And already some of my students from this year, we've already got offers from HSBC, EY, Deloitte, and KPMG. Okay, so without any further ado, I'm just going to play the full answer first, so you can just watch it. And then I'll go through, give my feedback, and then we'll move on to the second question. So the first question is, tell me about yourself. And yeah, the context of this is like Amazon sort of interview. So the Amazon interview you might get in a assessment center. That's what Abdullah here is sort of preparing for. So yeah, tell me about yourself. Take it away.
Hi, my name's Abdullah Salah. I'm 18 years old. I'm currently on a gap year. However, I completed my A-levels this year. I took A-levels in maths, economics, and geography. A little bit about me: I like to watch sports. I like to watch football and boxing, and mixed martial arts in particular. What I find most interesting about those sports is the level of sort of technical ability, which interests me. My favorite book, I would have to say would be Atomic Habits by James Clear. I've currently read that book. I've actually just read that book recently, a few weeks ago actually. I say about a month ago now. Very interesting, very insightful. Gives a good, teach good lessons about productivity and the importance of routine building and taking small steps every day to achieve a large goal in the future. And yeah, I'm extremely eager to pursue a digital degree apprenticeship with Amazon as a solutions architect. What intrigues me the most about being a solutions architect is that essentially you're bridging the gap between business challenges and technical solutions, and you provide that balance between internal stakeholders, i.e. the employees of Amazonians, which I'm looking to be in the future, and also external stakeholders such as clients of the company. And yeah, it's this sort of blend of business acumen as well as technical acumen, which I feel as though I possess, and I'm looking to improve that at Amazon's apprenticeship program. So yeah, hopefully that goes well.
Give me 1 second. I'm just writing down a note. Okay, so a lot to learn from this. First things first. Number one, look at the camera. Okay, let me do this. Basically, Abdallah is looking at either the screen and like where the questions, or he's just looking down at himself, like it's down here. Like you can see me right now in this camera. I'm like looking at myself. It looks kind of weird to you guys who are watching this video. It just looks kind of looking down for no reason. If you want to be most engaging, you want to look exactly at the webcam like this. I do this in all my YouTube videos. I try and look at this camera as much as possible because it's much more engaging rather than looking down here. So that's first thing first. When you're doing your answer, you want to be looking into the camera like this because it's going to be more engaging. This is something that's going to be difficult at the start because you're going to get used to like looking down at yourself, looking down at your notes, looking down at other things. But it's something you want to get into the habit of. You can see here, eyes are clearly all the way down here. You want them up here looking at the camera. So that's first things first. Go and make this a good habit so that whenever you're doing anything online, virtual interview, in person, it's not in person, obviously, virtual interview, Teams interview, Zoom interview, you're looking into the camera exactly like this. Okay. Now, in terms of the actual answer, basically, 1 minute 53, this was a whole load of waffle. Basically, but by the way, when I'm doing interview analysis, I'm just going to be completely honest, right? That's like, I'm not just going to lie, right? I'm just going to be brutal, right? Complete load of waffle. This whole answer was, half of it was talking about Atomic Habits. Like, okay, I like that. It's a good book, right? I've got it myself, right? Atomic Habits, good book. Do I care? No, right? The second half of the answer was basically answering the question, what intrigues you to be a solutions architect, or why do you want to be a solutions architect? Well, what was the question that I was asking you? The question I was asking you was, tell me about yourself. So basically, the stuff I learned about you was probably 30 seconds learning you're a gap year, you've done these subjects and you like sports. That's about it. The rest of it was waffling about atomic habits and intrigued to be a solutions architect. This question, most likely, I'd imagine 90% of companies, they're going to interrupt you because you're just chatting. You're literally just waffling about random stuff that's not even relevant. Let me show you a bit of my, so basically I have this, just for a bit of context for everyone, I have this full course on interviews that covers like every different type of question that you want to do, and this is basically the course that I've given to my students. I have about 25 students right now who I'm helping them, and this is the course that those of them who have already got offers from HSBC, Deloitte, EY, KPMG, that sort of thing, that they've been using this course. So if anyone is interested in this course, just leave some comments down below. I don't know if you guys would be interested in more people joining, I don't know, right? But essentially, let me come down to this bit here. Tell me about yourself. It's a short 30-second elevator pitch. Okay, you don't need to go into your whole life story. You don't need to go into why you want to be a solutions architect. You don't need to go into your favorite book. You don't need to go into why you're doing a degree apprenticeship. You don't need to tell me your child, like, do you know what I mean? It's just a 30-second short elevator pitch, because they're going to ask you those questions later. Why do you want this role? They're going to ask you later. Why do you want this degree apprenticeship? Why do you want solutions architect? They're going to ask it you later. And as I said, 90% of companies, they're going to interrupt you if you say this much. Like, I was literally, one of my students sent me a recording of one of his interviews he did a couple of months ago. He started doing this exact thing, but this is sort of before he'd watched this module here. In his Tell Me About It Yourself, he started going on and on. The interview just interrupts him. He was like, hold on for a second, but don't worry, we'll get into that. And it's just slightly unprofessional, especially since psychologically people remember the start of things better and they remember the end of things better. You want to make the start really good. This is your first opportunity really in the interview to make a really good impact. You want a really good 30-second elevator professional pitch. This is the kind of thing you're looking for. Let me model answer it for you right now. Okay. So my name's Owen. I'm currently in year 13. I'm studying maths, physics and chemistry A-levels. Last year I actually did a work experience in civil engineering. That's what's really interested me in the civil engineering industry. We were on site doing highways and structural engineering, and I really enjoyed that. And in my spare time I'm grade 8 trumpet, and I'm also working towards my diploma, so that's something I like to just spend my spare time doing, playing that trumpet and that sort of thing. And that's a bit about me, and I'm looking forward to starting a degree apprenticeship in the civil engineering industry. Bit rusty from me because I haven't done it in a while, but that's more or less what it is. Okay, like number one, I'm looking at the camera, there's eye contact. And number two, it's not going on forever, it's just a short elevator pitch. Okay, so they're not going to like interrupt me or anything like that. And number three, it's relevant. Okay, in here, like I said, sports, okay, I don't care. Atomic habits, I don't care, right? You didn't mention anything specific about tech. That's basically, this is like, for everyone watching this, for the tell me about yourself or introduce yourself, which a lot of companies ask at the start. Not all of them, a lot of them ask them at the start. 30-second elevator pitch. Use this exact structure. Your name, your school year, your A-levels. Mention one or two key work experiences and don't go in detail, but one or two key ones. Just literally highlight it. An extracurricular just to show you're a real person. You're not an AI-generated ChatGPT robot. And then just say a nice little phrase at the end like, and I'm looking forward to start a degree apprenticeship in the engineering industry. Or well, that's a bit about myself. End it in a nice way. So that was another thing I noticed down here with the answer Abdallah just did, was it sort of just ended in a weird way. You sort of didn't really know how to close it, and you were just like, yeah, so hopefully this goes well today. And it was just like a weird way of answering it compared to, yeah, so that's a bit about myself and I'm really looking forward to this interview. Like that's just so much more confident and professional when you end it like that. And this is a general thing for all interview questions. You don't want to end it sort of in the middle. You always want to end it with a nice concluding sentence. Okay, let's just come up to the list of questions. Let's say the question is, what is your biggest weakness? Right? You're going to end it with a sentence. So that is my biggest weakness. Right? Or what do you expect to be the biggest challenge in this role? You're going to end it with a nice concluding sentence, which is, so that's what I expect to be the biggest challenge in this role. Like it's always this concluding sentence just to summarize everything. Same with this one. You want to end it really nicely. Like, so that's just a bit about myself. And yeah, really looking forward to this interview having with you today or something like, or really looking forward to having this conversation with you today. End it confidently. Okay, I know I'm going all over the place here, but there's a lot to learn from this. So key sort of things. Number one, look at the webcam. Okay. Number two, end it really professionally, really well. Okay, really professional. Number three, follow this structure here. Okay, follow this structure here for any of your introduce yourself questions or tell me about yourself questions you might get for any company. Now, let me give you some Amazon specific ones because I know Abdullah here is looking at Amazon. Those tips I've just said, make sure you're using those for all companies. Now, for Amazon in particular, everything I've said here applies, and it applies even more because specifically Amazon, it's not assessed, this question. And number two, they want it super short. Okay, some companies will assess you on this question, some won't. So Amazon last year, basically the student who I mentored and I helped him get into Amazon, he was basically telling me this question, tell me about yourself, it wasn't assessed. Okay, they literally said this isn't an assessed question, but can you just tell me a bit about yourself? Okay, so they're not like marking you for the question, but it's still important you do well in it. Okay, just because the question's not assessed doesn't mean you can just go and be awful at it, because it's just about leaving a good impression. So they're not going to be like writing marks down or comments down or anything, but it's just about leaving a good psychological impression. So it's not assessed, which means if you do go end up talking for like literally 2 minutes like this, you're just wasting your time. Like any stuff you mention here, it's not technically being assessed, it's not being marked down, so it's a waste of time. And second of all, they literally tell you to keep it really brief. They literally say, just give us a couple of sentences about yourself. If you end up doing this 2 minute things, you're going to get interrupted. If you get interrupted, number one, it like again, they're psychologically gonna like you less. Like they're not going to mark you down, but it's just in their mind they're going to be like, okay, he's kind of a bit of a waffler, and it's just a roadblock you don't need at the very start. Okay. Second of all, it's going to lose your confidence. That's a fact. Okay. If you get interrupted by a interviewer, there's going to be a bit in your head which is like, oh, didn't get off to a great start there, and it's sort of going to be bugging you, and it's going to distract you. You're not going to be fully focused because you're going to be thinking, oh, I just messed up, and I'm a bit of a roadblock at the start there. Okay. So specifically for Amazon, it's not assessed and it has to be super short. So literally exactly this elevator pitch, nothing else, maybe even less, honestly. Okay. But that's the key thing for you there. I know I've banged on a lot about this question, but this question is just so key to leaving a good impression. Key things are keep it short and follow that structure. Okay? I think that's everything. Let's move on to the next question now.
Why would I like to work at Amazon? Well, there's plural.
Sorry. Yeah, the question is, for this one is, why do you want to work at Amazon?
Why would I like to work at Amazon? Well, there's plural of reasons why I chose to apply to Amazon. Number one is prestige. Amazon is one of the largest companies in the world, and I believe the third or fourth largest company in the UK by annual revenue. So that's one obvious reason why I chose to apply to Amazon. Another reason is, I feel as though I align well with the leadership principles. Now, I could just say and list all the leadership principles like customer obsession, long-term thinking, proactivity, but I feel as though the one leadership principle which really resonates with me is bias for action. First of all, what is bias for action? It's this idea that, any motion is better than being stagnant. It's this idea that you want to fail as early, you want to aim to fail as early as possible, make as many mistakes as early as possible so you can learn from them and improve quicker. And I feel as though during my gap year, which I'm currently on right now, I have been able to really understand the importance of bias for action. I was really introduced to the concept of time management and the importance of routine building after I read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. To be honest, prior to my gap year, which I'm currently on, I was never into reading books, to be honest. But they say you're never into something until you find something that interests you. And so when I was introduced to Atomic Habits, it really sparked my mind, and it opened my mind, and it sparked the interest, because I realized the importance of taking small steps every single day. As humans, we generally tend to think that in order to achieve a large goal in the long term, you need to take large steps every single day. Well, that actually couldn't be far further from the truth, because what eventually ends up happening is you experience burnout. I'm sure everyone's experienced burnout at some point. And yeah, so one thing I can take away from this book is the importance of just taking small steps every day, and that helps achieve consistency. And once you're consistent, then it's only a matter of time until you reach your goal in the future, in the long term. So yeah, I definitely say bias for action is one of the leadership principles that really resonate with me, and that's one of the main reasons why I chose to apply to this apprenticeship at Amazon. Taking small steps every day. My larger goal is to become a solutions architect, degree apprentice at Amazon next year. And so I'm just building up to this goal. I'm taking one step at a time. After this video interview, hopefully it'll be the assessment center, and then I'll get my offer, hopefully. So yeah, bias for action.
Yeah, you're waffling, bro. You have no idea what you're talking about. Okay, so let me just break down that answer. Let me come here. Obviously, just while it's on my mind, that looking from the camera thing, that still applies. As I said, that's something to learn for future. Just make sure you're looking at the camera as much as possible. Now, you basically, in that 3-minute answer, when you're doing a full answer like this, say you have like in your interview and it takes you 3 minutes to go through your answer, I'd want 4 points. 4 or 5 points, honestly. you went through 2 points. Your first point was pretty good, actually. It was saying, okay, Amazon's prestigious. I know that it's the third largest company in the UK, or whatever you ended up saying. That was good. Bit of research, bit of overall. Cool. Point number one. Took you about 30 seconds. Now what I'd be expecting is probably 3 or 4 more points, maybe 3 more points of 30 seconds each. So maybe 4 points of 30 seconds each. About a 2-minute answer. You're saying some good stuff. We got to about 30 seconds. Yeah, you moved on to point number 2. Point number 2 was your leadership principles and bias for action. And yeah, that went until the end. Maybe there was like 15 seconds at the end where you started just saying, like, sort of concluding it, but it was essentially 2 minutes, 2 minutes 15 saying bias for action. Basically 2 minutes 15 saying something that you could have said in 15 seconds. Okay, it was just waffle, I'll be honest. Okay, so question like this, you need more substance to your answer. So why do you want to work at Amazon? Again, let me come to this bit of my course here, just to give you sort of sneak preview of this. Why do you want to work for this company? 2 or 3 minutes, if you have that, you can get through 3 or 4 or 5 points. Okay, I'd probably do 4 points. When I'd be doing this answer, I'd usually try and do 4 points, roughly 30 seconds each, maybe 45 seconds each, okay? These are the points you can go through. Basically, the answers, the points you did was, number one, you did something about the overall, saying, like, you gave them an overall fact, and, like, they're really prestigious, and I want to work at a prestigious tech company. Cool, that's nice. Then you did a bit about company values or leadership principles, and then that was it. So what you could have gone into more was you could have done something about, the key products and services of Amazon. Oh, you guys do this product, and this really interests me. Maybe they have a mission or purpose or goal. Right? There might be, for example, JLR, they had a mission. I don't know if they've changed it, but at some point it was like they want to be the world's most luxurious cars or something. Right? Oh, that goal is really challenging, and I like challenges, and I want to take part in that goal, right? That's the kind of thing you can say. Or maybe some recent projects innovations, right? Maybe they introduced a new AI chatbot language thing that you saw and it was really cool, and that sort of thing, right? Sustainability commitment. Maybe they have a sustainability commitment to be net zero by 2030. Okay, that's what I'd be doing for here. For this question, I would not be spending 3 minutes on 2 points, one of which is waffling for ages about bias for action and atomic habits. It's get 4 of these points, get some good research for each one. Like, these points require research. Your answer only had 1 bit of research in, and that was like Amazon's the 3rd biggest company in the UK or something. The rest of it was just pure waffle, right? But it's like, here, get your overall fact. Have a look at some of Amazon's key products and services. How do they make money? Right? What's their mission and purpose? What recent projects or innovation have they done? What's been going on with Amazon? Have they launched a new product, right? Maybe they launched like a new AI thing on Amazon Prime Video, which like AI chooses a movie that fits to your preferences. And that's really cool because it's like some new innovation, it's new technology that's never been used. Netflix haven't even used. Like, it's that kind of thing. Really interests me, and I want to work for an innovative company like Amazon who are going to use state-of-the-art technology. That's the kind of thing you can say. Okay. Now, when you're talking about company values, leadership principle, you talked about bias for action. Okay, great. You talked about bias for action. You basically said nothing the whole time. Okay, you said like, yep, I've done research on you. Like, what you actually did at the start there was really good. So I know about your leadership principles, and I know there's lots of them, including insistence on higher standards, customer obsession, and frugality. That's where basically that's a little tactic. That's a little tactic all of you can try. If a company like, especially Amazon, they have like 16 or something leadership principles. Obviously, you're not going to talk about all 16, and you're probably just going to focus on one, like Abdullah here. Like, that's what I do. I'd focus on one. But you can do like a little sneak preview sentence that just shows you've done a bit of research. So you'd start at something like, so another reason why I want to join Amazon is because I really align with your leadership principles. So I've done research on them. I know you have 16 of them, including frugality, insistence on high standards, and customer obsession. But in particular, I want to focus on bias for action. Because what you do there is rather than just saying, oh, I really like your leadership principle of bias for action, because that only shows you know 1. Now I've shown that I know 4, which is just a bit more comprehensive. It's taken me 2 seconds just to list out an extra 3. But just doing it like that is going to be able to show off, okay, I've done a bit more research. So I've researched leadership principles, and I know that they're there, including insistence on high standards, customer obsession, and frugality. But in particular, I wanted to focus on bias for action, because this is one that really inspires me. So recently, over the summer, I read this book, Atomic Habits, and it essentially gave some tactics, some actionable steps for getting work done quickly and efficiently, right? And after I read this book, I then started using this system, this mindset throughout my work. So last week, actually, I completed a whole course. It was a 24-hour course by the University of Toronto on AI in computer science, and I use these tactics to complete this entire course in the space of just 7 days. And this really taught me to take action, and it also helped with my drive to learn and my willingness to learn. Something like that. Right? I've literally made that up off the top of my head, but that's how you do it. And then they move on to the next point. Like, I don't know how long that was, 20, 30 seconds, right? All I'm saying is you have this leadership principle. This really interests me because, give an example, I've had a bias for action when I did this little thing in the past. Cool, next point. That's it. It's not 2 minutes 30 of saying random stuff about atomic habits. It's literally, what's the thing? Give an example. Boom, move on. Okay, let's say the question was, which of Amazon's leadership principles align with you, right? Maybe let's say you choose insistence on high standards and customer obsession. Okay, so one of the leadership principles of Amazon that align with me is insistence on high standards. To me, doing everything to the best of my ability is really important, and I never do less than that, never. Okay, so for example, it was last month when I had my A-level mocks. I also had my EPQ I had to submit, and I also had my grade 8 trumpet exam, which I had to do at the same time. Although it took a lot of work, I made sure to do all of these to the best of my ability, and it ended up being successful. So I ended up getting A stars in my mocks, got A star in my EPQ, and I got a distinction in my grade 8. So that's a time when, even though I have a lot going on, I don't do things half. I make sure I do things to the highest standards possible. Again, I'm making it up on the top of my head, so it's not like the best answer in the entire world. It's a bit rusty, but that's the sort of thing you're saying. The value, give a short example, move on. Don't waffle for 2 hours. This is the question that I got asked. Is like, okay, so Owen, I'm doing this, like, it was some guy in a mock interview or a group call. I don't remember. Group call, actually, it was a group call. And he did like a 1 minute answer, and he was like, Owen, like, I know I should be doing more like 2 or 3 minute answers. So should I just start waffling and just try to get it on for 2 or 3 minutes? And I was like, no, don't do that. And that reminded me of someone else in a group call who would basically, they did the same as Abdullah here, to be fair, which is basically just waffled for like 3 minutes. They were just chatting, and I was like, what were you even talking? How many points did you have? And he was like, oh yeah, I had 2 key points. Exact same as Abdullah here. Then why did you talk for 3 minutes? Because you had nothing to say. You had all your points done by 1 minute, and then you just talked for another 2 minutes. And this is, I think, a mistake people make, which is, okay, ideally, if you have a lot to say and you've prepared properly and you know what you're doing, you can give a 2 or 3 minute interview answer. So for example, if I was going into an interview and I was like actually prepared, then yeah, I could go and do 3 minute answers perfectly fine, right? But when people haven't prepared or they're not really sure what to say, they get to a point where, okay, I've spoken for 1 minute, but I've run out of ideas. I don't know what to say. The best answers are 3 minutes. Therefore, I need to make my answers 3 minutes long. And that's a misconception. Okay, you know what? Let me actually explain this. So if I come to Canva. Okay, so let me just ignore this for a second. Okay, yeah. So a lot of people have, it would be better if I text this. Okay, so this is basically the perception of how good an answer is. Okay, the best answer is a 3 minute good answer, right? So what happens is people get to 1 minute, okay, they have a 1 minute answer, right? That's good. And what they do is they try and basically get it up to 3 minutes. Okay, so people get to 1 minute, they run out of things to say, so they just waffle on to try and get it to 3 minutes. Okay? The only problem is that doesn't get it to 3 minutes of good, that just gets it to 3 minutes of bad. And it's actually worse. This is the hierarchy of it. Okay? And this is what people get confused. They think, okay, if I've got a 1 minute answer, as long as I make it 3 minutes, it's going to be good. No, it's a 3 minute answer is only good if you actually have good things to say. So, basically my point here is, if you are 30 seconds into an answer, 45 seconds, 1 minute, and you have nothing else to say, just end the answer there. Just end it. Is it the ideal? Is it going to be the best answer in the world? No, because like obviously if you had this 3 minutes, super sophisticated, super detailed answer, that would be awesome. That would be the best case scenario. But when you're in a hole, what's the phrase? Don't stop digging or something like. If you're in a hole, don't keep digging or whatever the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like dig a hole. I don't know. I honestly don't know what the phrase is. My mind's gone blank. But it's something to do with you're in a hole and you keep digging yourself in a hole. Just forget it. Okay. If you get to 1 minute and you run out of things to say, just leave it there. Don't get greedy, because that's what people do. They end up getting greedy, thinking, "Yep, no, I want to do a 3 minute answer," and you just go down the bin because you just end up talking about waffle, absolute waffle. Similar thing happened here with Abdullah, essentially. So basically, he had 1 minute of points, and he just talks it on for 3 minutes. If you have 1 minute of points, talk for 1 minute. So obviously, the best situation is go and prepare properly for this sort of question. Get 3 or 4 key points, 3, 4, 5 key points. You got a 3 minute answer, perfect. But if you are in a situation where you do have only 2 key points, just accept it here. Just accept this level. You don't want to fall down to that. Okay. I think that was everything I wanted to cover. Yeah, that was everything I wanted to cover. And let me just show you this as well. I think I may have shown this in another video, but I'm not sure. Here's a list of general questions. You guys want to screenshot this page? There we go. If you want to screenshot this page, there's some questions which you can go and practice and get them ready for your different interviews. But yeah, those are essentially the key things from today. Let me just go through the key points again, because I know I'm going in circles, but whenever I get an idea in my head, I'm just trying to tell it to you guys so I can help you. I hope you appreciate that. Me helping as much as I can. So, number one, look at the camera. Number two, make sure you end your answers really well, really positive. Again, the ending of this one was kind of weird. Let's just reload it for a second.
My larger goal is to become a solutions architect, degree apprentice at Amazon next year. And so I'm just building up to this goal. I'm taking one step at a time. After this video interview, hopefully it'll be the assessment center, and then I'll get my offer, hopefully. So yeah, bias for action.
It just kind of seemed like your intrusive thoughts won there, man. You were like, oh yeah, guys, I hope I get into the assessment center, and I hope I get the offer. Yeah, hopefully, guys. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I think my answer's there. I think I've said everything I want. It was like you almost just like speaking out like what your thoughts are. Like just try and answer it super professionally. Like again, like I said, if you get to the end of 1 minute and your mind is literally blank, just end it at 1 minute. Okay, don't get greedy. Just take what you've got, end on a high, and it's like, yep, and that's why another reason why I'm really interested, because of bias for action. So overall, yeah, that's why I'd like to work for Amazon. That's the kind of conclusion to a question like this. Why do you want to work at Amazon? You want a final concluding sentence. So that's why I want to work at Amazon. Okay, so come back to the key points. Number one, look at the camera. Number two, end it really nicely. Number three, follow the two structures I've given you in this video here. Okay, tell them about yourself. It's a short 30-second elevator pitch. Why do you want to work for this company? You want to use 3 to 4 key points like this. Hope this video helps. Yeah, like I said, if anyone's interested in this course or getting one-to-one mentoring with me or coaching with me or calls with me or whatever you want, just, I don't know, leave some comments down below. I don't know if people are interested. So if people are interested, go leave it in the comments down below. And yeah, if this has helped and you like interview analyses like this one, click the like button. And I'll see you guys in a bit. Take care. Bye.